Welcome back to Twist of Fate, a small business podcast where you're going to find your inspiration to make your dreams come true following your entrepreneurial interests. Today, we have a very special topic to those that are really tall and slim. You see, for many of the athletes and a lot of our individuals that grow to a certain extent, they're not able to have the same confidence because there's difficulty finding clothes that fit them properly. Now, this is a big issue because, as you know, when you want to get a job and you want to go on a date and you want to participate in life, you want to look the part. You want to feel good about yourself. Well, our entrepreneur here today is going to talk about how he started his business to solve this very problem. Rashad Jackson, my friend, welcome to Twist of Fate.
How you doing? Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, Rashad, you just flew in from your home in Denver, Colorado.
Correct. Denver, Colorado, yes.
But for my guests, maybe we could talk a little bit about, you're actually not from there. You're actually from Florida.
I'm from Titusville, Florida / East Mims. I mean, you have to look it up on the map. It's very small. It's right next to Kennedy Space Center, NASA.
That's not small, though.
Well, that's not small, but the town's probably 50,000, and East Mims 4,000.
Big family? Are you
big family, yeah, big family.
And they're all tall?
Yes, my mom's 5'11".
I think she's got me beat.
Yeah, see? All the girls are tall. I have one girl, cousin that was 6'2", and her brother is 6'7", and I got another cousin that's 6'8", and basically, so I was just I'm tired of this problem.
So I am the shortest male in my family. All the guys are I have 3 cousins, one 6'5", 6'6", 6'8". The social problem of being tall, I think it's something that not everybody is as empathetic about, right? People are cry me a river, you're big and strong. I want to be taller, right? Everybody will do that. But I don't know if they understand what it's like to grow up where you go to the store and it's XL or XXL is wearing a curtain or a drape, right? It's not contour to your body type. Now, what was your experience with that?
Well, I'll give you an example. Last year, I was going to Houston. And I said, I had $1,000 in my pocket. I said, whatever I can get with this, that's what I'm going to get, right? Only thing I can get was, actually, these pants I got on right now, a hoodie, and a couple of shorts and socks.
Because they did not have your size.
There's nothing my size, no shoes. No. So it was very disappointing. It was just almost depressing because I'm trying to get something. I'm going out of town. I want to look fashionable. I want to look presentable. And the only thing I can get is pretty much a jumpsuit, a put together jumpsuit. And it really discouraged me. So I just start thinking, if I'm discouraged, I know there's other people that also have that same problem.
100%. Now, did you experience this while you were in school and you in athletics, and or did you grow late in life?
All my life.
So I'm hitting it right on the head, right?
All my life. Yeah. All my life. I'm talking about because when I was a kid, I was always let me see his birth certificate. He's a little bit bigger than the other kids, you know?
Sure.
So when it came down, coming from Florida, it's a lot of fashion. You know, my cousins always have the fashion, the latest stuff. I can never wear what they wear. Even if I tried.
You're too big. And if you tried, it didn't quite look the way.
Oh man, it looked like a sheet on a skinny person. Yeah, and that's exactly what. Because the only thing I can get is big and tall because of the length. So people don't really understand. If I show you my homecoming pictures from high school, it's really almost a 3X shirt. Yeah, it's a 3X shirt.
Right.
When the wind blowing, you see a big old bubble to the side.
So, and I can only imagine for the ladies in your family. Man, that's even worse, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If she's 6'2", I'm sure she has the same problems, right?
Oh, absolutely. She was having the same problems too. People were saying oh, you always wear the same thing. Oh, I already know what you're gonna wear. You got that same outfit. That's very discouraging for anybody. Don't matter what gender you are, because they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? And like, they had leggings back then that just start coming out back in like 2006, 2005. And you see people have to wear socks and make it look like they're making something work. But in reality, it's nowhere near her ankles.
So she just got to cover it up.
She got to cover it up.
Yeah.
And then she'll wear like some boots or some shoes and make it look fashionable. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't fit. And I was like, I know there's an issue. How can I solve this?
So if you don't let me ask you, so you've been observing your entire life this problem, but what was the point that you finally said, okay, now I'm going to start moving to solve it? Like what inspired you to go and say, I'm going to place my time, my money, my effort into trying to solve this SlimTall problem?
Simple. You heard the word swag, right?
Yeah.
Right. I had a homeboy. He kept telling me, he was a football player. We were football. He's like, Rashad, you don't got no swag, man. You got no swag, no get up, no nothing. I'm like,
You were finally tired of hearing it.
I was like, you know what? I don't, because at the end of the day, what I was doing, Doug, is I would get brand new white tees, brand new black tees, wear it with my jeans, with some nice shoes, and make sure I smell good. But at the end of the day, I don't got no combinations. You know what I'm saying? I have no like dress up gear or dress down gear. It's either this or that.
So it was your partner in football.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a lady friend.
No.
It was, he judged you.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah.
And you just said, okay, I'm done with this. I'm about to fix this.
That was it. Because I knew I had everything else. Had the charm, had the smile and everything. And I was just like, you know what? How can I fix this? I want to have something. Because I looked in my closet. My closet had nothing but raggedy white shirts and black shirts, you know?
Sure.
I had no button up.
Sure.
You know how hard it is to just get a button up shirt? Because I can get it, but it's going to come up to right here. But look, my watch is showing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this is very...
Okay, so let's talk about this. So you are an athlete.
Correct.
So was this a college football player?
Yes, college football.
It was college football.
Yeah.
So where'd you play?
I played at Southwest Oklahoma State.
Okay, yeah.
That's a D2 in Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I had a great time. I was defensive end, number 92. I played arena football as well afterwards. I just recently stopped because of the corona and all that, and I was like, I think I need to push ST a little bit more.
So it was in college that he called you out. Right? That's what he did. He called you out. Yeah. And then you arena football, that's like semi-professional football, right?
Yeah.
So you still hadn't found a solution even then.
No.
See, I think that's something that a lot of people underestimate about professional sports. Because, again, from the outside looking in, someone will say, well, you guys make all this money, you could buy all this stuff. But the truth is, like you said in your example, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If it doesn't fit, you can't wear it, period.
Put it this way, Doug. If you want to get a suit, how fast can you get a suit?
I can get a suit anytime I want.
See, me, I will have to get it tailor-made, and it take me 2 weeks before it even come. That's the only way. You know, think about, like, there's a lot of, 6'5" is kind of common. There's a lot of people that 6'5" or 6'3", 6'4", you know.
Especially, like, Southeast, like, where you're talking there. Like, like, I mean, that's where my people are from as well. Like, like, you're right. There's a lot of people living with this issue. And even, you know, in America now, we also have, you know, the obesity epidemic. So it's a similar problem, right? Like, you know, just because you may be, you know, as an individual thicker, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to look good, right? Like, you want clothes to fit, right? Like, we all want clothes to fit. So, SlimTall. So you decided to become an entrepreneur to fix this. Now, was this when you were doing arena football?
Well, the corona hit, and it was almost... I'm not happy what happened with the corona, but it really opened my eyes. Because I do have a degree in engineering and manufacturing, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I couldn't do nothing with that because nobody was hiring. I couldn't do football because
of lockdown, right? Like
right.
there's no fans. You can't do that.
So I had to come up with like, what can I do? What can I do? And that's when I came up with that.
So, just breaking the fourth wall, talking to my listeners that, in the show we talk a lot about what's it take to become an entrepreneur, or what are the conditions to create an entrepreneur. And, as Rashad is sharing, that sometimes bad circumstances can make you innovate and teach yourself new skills that you've never did before. So you decided that you were going to start creating a custom apparel brand for people that are slim and tall, correct?
Correct.
And this was, by that time you were in Denver.
Yes.
Because the arena football team you played there was in Denver?
It was in Florida.
It was in Florida.
It was in Florida. I was also playing for the Columbus Lions in Georgia. And after, after all that, and I was just like, no offense, arena football, it's not like what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. Like, it's good during game, but practice and all that, it's ghetto. I'm gonna just be honest. It's ghetto. Is
it very physical?
Yeah, it's a very physical game. It's a very physical game, but the structure, it was almost like guys getting together and just playing on a certain day. And I was just like, what the world is this?
So that felt like a dead end road.
Yeah, it just felt like this is like a pit that I know you're not going to get rich in arena football. The most you can make is like $2,000 a game, right? Hopefully you get picked up somewhere else and so on and so on. But like I said, it's
sad to hear, because there's probably a lot of players in arena football that they're seeing problems like you are. They're probably better off starting a business, changing the world, than grinding it out for my ticket and entertainment, right? Like that's because that's what it really comes down to.
Exactly. You gotta understand, like, what can you control? We can't control much, but try to control what you can control. And that's when I start realizing, I said, I need to do something for me. I need something for me. And then,
so why'd you move to Denver then?
Why did I move to Denver? Yeah. I needed a change. I needed a big change. Relationship went bad. Football went bad.
Right.
I just need a whole change, like a whole makeover, and I prayed for it, and that's what happened. And that's when all these ideas, I tried everything during the corona. I tried to be a DJ. I tried to be a rapper. I tried everything, a promoter. And I was just like, my sister really put me into it. She was like, she's an entrepreneur. She had like 4 businesses.
Okay.
And she was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll start my own brand. Maybe call it RJ or something. She was like, you can't do that. And I was like, well, I'm going to start a brand called SlimTall. I said I was going to do that when I was 6 years old.
When was this? When you had that conversation with her?
With my sister?
Yeah.
It was 2019.
Okay,
2019
yeah.
going to
coronavirus.
Yep, 2019. Right about like March. Right about March.
So you incorporated the business.
Yes.
And did you decide on colors and look and feel yourself, or did you, like, what was your first processes? What did you first want to do?
First of all, I had to like sync SlimTall. First, I'm looking up like, who got SlimTall? Ain't no way nobody ain't got SlimTall. There's no way nobody has SlimTall. I'm smart, but I don't think I'm that smart, But then
you didn't find anything.
I didn't find anything. I go, all right, Lord, okay, you talking to me.
Domain name, trademark, all that, you were like, SlimTall's available.
Yeah, I was like, wow, SlimTall's available. I was like, okay, so I just act on it. And then when I started acting on it, I also went to school at Iowa State before I transferred to Southwest. There was a girl that's a designer, and she designed the whole SlimTall and everything.
So your logo and all
everything.
That.
Very professional, great, just...
She did the apparel too?
She didn't do the apparel.
Okay.
I did the apparel.
Okay.
I did the apparel. So what I did with that was I looked up and found out what's our specs. So you know what I'm saying? You need to know what your
like the silk screen, or like, how are you going to manufacture it? And that was your area. So now I get it. Now I see. Yeah.
So everything started clicking together, and I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm in manufacturing. What would I do? What would my teacher tell me? And I was like, okay, first of all, what do I like to wear? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like heavy gilded. They don't know nothing else but the heavy gilding shirts. So when I come on there with a soft style shirt that's breathable, I already stand out and I'm giving it away. You know what I'm saying?
You looked at material science.
Right. Look
So
at the material side.
Water wicking or dry fit or like all these different materials that are out there.
You know, I want it to last. At the end of the day, I want it to last. I don't want it to fade. I don't want to look ashy. You ever seen it get something black and it turn like really ashy?
Yeah, like it'll fade. Well, see, out here in California, everything will fade.
Yeah.
If you wear too much. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, then you don't want to wear it.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to make sure I won't have that issue. So I did my due diligence. I did all my research, and I got a prototype. I hit up Alibaba, and I was like, hey, well, before I hit Alibaba, I talked to the Small Business Development Center. I'm pretty sure you know about it.
I definitely do. So in Denver, Small Business Development Center.
Correct.
So you went there looking for resources to help you as a business owner.
Exactly.
And I do applaud that you mentioned this. So to many of you there that are listeners, if it's the first time you're starting your business, the Small Business Development Centers are around. The SBA is around. You can get a counselor, a loan officer, different people that can help you start your business, make you assume certain things, or they even have some classes and courses and stuff like that, and lectures that you can go.
They definitely do. But he just kept, when I talked to him, he kept, do this and do this and do this and do this. So I done got a chart. I done did that in 2 weeks. And he's like, oh, what the world? And so once I start really tacking onto it to the point where he's starting to see like my dreams start becoming reality. And next thing you know, I have a LLC. I have my products. It's already in the making.
You remind me asking. So for your products, you decided to take your requirements and you essentially offshored it, right? Like you ordered overseas.
Yes. Just for the tracksuits, just for the hoodie and the joggers.
Yeah, and you did that. Was it cost was the driver, or was it these were initial prototypes? You just wanted to you want to see your product and kind of test it, right?
Well, during the time, right, I didn't know who was open.
That's true.
I didn't know who was open.
That's true.
I knew China was open. They were still making work, right? I wanted to get, American made and all that. But the reality was I didn't know who did that. Where they
and there were changes. There were supply chain shortages and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. So I was like, well, it was a big risk because you got to think about it. You don't know those people. You know what I'm saying? So you giving them, go through PayPal, by the way, but you giving your money to somebody in China that you've been talking to a rep. You don't know if they're real or not, but you go through Alibaba and you go through PayPal. When you pay through PayPal only. Because anything go wrong, you can get your money back. But I got blessed up, and everything was legit.
Okay, and the shipment, your first shipment, you were happy with?
I was happy with. So I got my sample, and I was like, oh, it was great. It was great material, and I was like, what? I can't believe it.
So let's talk. What would you consider is your line of products? Like, what type of apparel did you select as in that first group?
So my first group, what I was doing is like hoodies, joggers, leggings, hats, socks, stuff like that.
So it was men and women.
Men and women, unisex, yes.
And you chose unisex.
Yes.
That's probably for like cost advantage, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then, did you choose kind of more of the athletic apparel because you were an athlete, or what was the themes you were thinking about?
Well, honestly, I was thinking like, okay, what's the things that's kind of easy that can be done but look fashionable? So I know like, okay, joggers shouldn't be that much to make, right? Shouldn't be that hard. Instead of like jeans, because it'd be hard,
stitching and all these other things.
Yeah, and then like you trying to do unisex, you know how every woman's body is different, every guy's body is different, right? But I was like, joggers, you got a string, you can tie it up to your waist, I said that would work. Joggers and hoodies, because most people want it baggy or they want it tight or loose. I said I can manage that.
You can have that customization.
Right. That's why I started off with joggers and hoodies. And then the t-shirts, you know about t-shirts.
Yeah.
Everybody wears t-shirts. Yeah. So that was a given.
Yeah.
But that's why I started with hoodies and joggers, because I know I'm in Denver. Mm-hmm. It's cold almost all the time.
Yeah.
I know you.
And you're not used to that. You're not used to that.
No, I know you're gonna need a hoodie, and I need a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I need a hoodie.
Sure. Yeah.
And I need joggers. So, and I was like, I know somebody else will need it, and that's how that basically started off.
So then, why don't you talk us through? At that point, you found your supply chain.
Right.
You got your shipment in now.
Mm.
What was your first effort to start selling? Like, did you say, I'm going to do it all online? I'm going to go, you said did you go out to the streets and just say, hey, I'm about to, sell it like, I don't know, like the malls, or like, what was your thought process?
Honestly, I said I got to get it out by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
So if I, they call it like bootstrapping. If I got to go out there and whatever, if I go out there and have to show you 6'3", you 7 foot, I bet you this will work.
But how do you find these people? Like, did you?
I will go outside and look for these people. Mm-hmm. I'll go downtown Denver, I look for these people. I go to the barbershop and look for these people. Mm-hmm. Any person I see that's tall, I need you. I need to know you. Mm-hmm. I need to, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I gotta acquire information.
Did you go after the athletes? Because
I went out, yes, because I was still training. I was still training. So I was training at this land down performance. Right, and
so you still hadn't said that arena football's totally over.
Yeah, I mean, I was still doing it because I still had another tryout, like professional tryout. Mm-hmm. And then when I said I'm done with it, then everybody was like, "Hey, I want you," and I was like, "No, I'm good." But
they could be contacts for you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Like maybe they have apparel needs, right?
That's why I was like, don't. Those are your connection. Mm-hmm. Just because that door closed, there's another one open. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can sponsor the team. You got to think bigger now instead of just being a worker.
I applaud Rashad's mentioning this. I hope many of you took that note, that the truth is you don't ever want to burn a bridge from your past life going to your new one, because you never know when you need that door open, right? Like, you never know. I think that was very smart. So did you feel that you were getting the success you wanted? Or did you feel that, because oftentimes in product design, like, probably the first group, you're starting to learn how they're using the product and you were seeing things. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, okay. So for prime example, I got my sample, right? I'm all happy. Hey, I got my sample. Hey, sister, take me pictures, right? Mm. So I'm watching the twins, right? Mm. I come back, she's like, bro, look at this. She put on my joggers and they fit her like it's hers.
You didn't expect that.
I didn't, because I didn't know. I'm like, those are my joggers. It should only fit me. Then I realized, I said, I'm on to something. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, oh my goodness, I'm on to something.
You could cross the gender line. Yeah.
Because you will not know. And she's like 5'8" and very curvy. Mm-hmm. And you like, there's no way a 5'8" person
can wear somebody
6'5". Yeah, because like if I tell you, you won't believe it.
No.
So I have to show you. Mm-hmm. So then once I seen that, oh my goodness, my brain started moving and turning. I said, I got to show everybody. Mm-hmm. And then I tell my mom's a very social butterfly. I said, Mom, I'm sending you something. Put it on.
You put her to work. Put her to work, basically,
right?
So she started telling her friends.
Yeah. I made her wear it first, because you got to make her be a believer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
You got to make them be a believer. And she put it on, and she's like, whoa, it fit me. I said, you thought it wasn't? Mm-hmm. It's going to fit you. Mm-hmm. You know, and because my mom was like, she's like 5'11", but she's not like skinny with it. But, she's like probably like size 15, 16, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it fit her like a glove. Like, it fit her. Mm-hmm. And it looked baggy and it fit her. Mm-hmm. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, spread the word. So she started spreading the word in Florida, right? That's my home base. Mm-hmm.
But your inventory was in Denver.
Exactly. My headquarters is Denver.
Okay, so then when she found people she wanted, did you already work on like, I'm gonna ship that out? So you started getting new problems you had to solve, right?
Yeah, because I was getting a website. I learned real hard about the WordPress. It's not, yeah.
So you started doing a website
Yeah,
yourself,
so
right?
I started a website myself. Actually, I had somebody on Fiverr to do it, you know what I'm saying? And whoa, you know what I'm saying? So I learned that was like one of the biggest headaches. Like, your website is so important.
Yeah, because, well, the website is the storefront.
Yeah.
That's your storefront. There's people, so, building positive brand equity with just the people that you can reach. Problem is, you're only one person, or your mom's only one person. But through your website, you can reach out to way more people. You can start scaling, right?
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you, with inventory, did you run out of that initial inventory very quickly, or did it take more time than you thought?
Well, it took more time than thought, because when you order for China, you don't want to order a small, because you get tariffs, you get taxed and all that. So I ordered like 200, tracksuits. So yeah, I mean, I sold like the first year 50, and I was like, dang, I still got like 100 or something left.
So you had to start thinking bigger. Like,
yeah, so I had to
scale.
So I said, what I need to do to start scaling up differently. So I started watching God is Dope and World and Vision, and I was seeing what they're doing. They start using Shopify.
Yeah.
And e-commerce.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they start putting their stuff on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Amazon.
See, and also Amazon. And I go, what? So when I was trying to do it with WordPress, but WordPress is not that friendly. He's just not.
But to your point, Shopify, all you have to do is pretty much you put your thumbnail photo up. It's less about your individual custom experience. It's just somebody's on Shopify. They're like, oh, I want to order that. Right?
Yeah. It's more. I would say it's more personal. You know what I'm saying? Because on WordPress, it looked like I'm trying to sell you something. You know what I'm saying? When I got on Shopify, it's just like, oh, because this is the same thing that's on Instagram. I'm going to just click it and see what it do. And it automatically goes to my Shopify, but you're still on Instagram. So then when I start realizing that I had to transition, that was the hardest thing. Just transition from WordPress to Shopify, because I'm like, man, because as an entrepreneur, your time is so valuable.
Oh yeah. And the timer's always clicking against you.
Yeah.
Right? Like the longer you go without finding the solution to scale, well, you're burning money.
Yes.
And it's not infinite, right? So that window of opportunity is always closing. Right?
Exactly. So I had to figure it out. So one day I said, okay.
I'm curious, Rashad, why didn't you think about leveraging your arena football experiences and partnering with some of the teams, or you could probably get like partnership agreements. I mean, I think that's where I feel we go in the future, right? But none of them really, like the teams. I'm saying the franchises. They never reached out, or
no, they didn't reach out, because during that time they were folding.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
COVID.
Yeah. They were folding, so money was scarce everywhere.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah.
Money was scarce everywhere. So, but at the end of the day, there's still a problem.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I had to find another way to make it.
Let me ask you a question. So you found a clear need. You've already started fulfilling it.
Right.
What does long-term success look like to you?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked. Long-term success will be every place you see big and tall, you see slim and tall.
You mean stores, online, e-commerce?
It don't even matter. If you see something that says we sell big and tall, you're going to see something say and slim and tall. Slim tall. That's what I'm trying to get, because I'm so tired of tall and skinny people are they feel like they're ashamed. Like people always say, oh, you too skinny. You so tall. You too skinny. I want them to have something for them. So that's why I started Slim Tall Fam. I want them to understand that it's a family. It's okay.
Yeah, I think, especially in particular, growing up in the African American community, a lot of our body types are like that, tall and slim. And a lot of times I know a lot of people, they get on us like, well, back when I was a teenager or whatever, like, pull your pants up. It's like, it's not like made for me. I'm not like sagging right now. I'm not trying to do that. It's just, and I'm even not tall, right? Like, I mean, I'm relatively tall, but not like in that experience. So, no, I'm really glad that you shared that. I'm curious for you. I mean, you found out you did well for your first entrepreneurial effort. I mean, 99% of startups fail.
Right.
Question for you is like, what was the biggest challenge in starting your personal brand, SlimTall? Like, what was an issue that really gave you pause and that you had problems with?
Besides the website.
Yeah. No, I could tell your pain with the website, but
besides for the website, it's always always money, because you gotta understand, like, even this hat I got on, people say I want that hat, but I can't. You understand? If I give you that hat, I gotta mass produce it, and if I mass produce it, I gotta make sure the quality is right. Mm-hmm. So it always come down to like making that $100 stretch to a $200. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest issue. You got to make the money. You got to use what you have and make it work for you. Mm-hmm. And just keep doing it and keep doing it until it starts making its own money for us. Like SlimTall make its own money. You mm-hmm. won't take your money from your job and put it into it.
And that takes time.
It takes time
and patience, right?
A lot of patience. And you got to be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Being consistent. Consistent posting. Consistent going out talking to the people like the barbers or anybody tall. Just being a stand-up guy. It goes a long way. A long way. Mm-hmm. So that's why I would say that was for me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that, and I think it shows your perseverance to not give up on what you're trying to do. Are you thinking, let's talk a little bit about where SlimTall is going to go in the future. Like, okay. Have you considered a lot of the newer technologies that are rising, like 3D printing and, like that could create on-demand manufacturing and things like this, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's funny. Because I was at Iowa State, we were going to start a business of 3D printing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a fanatic of 3D printing, so I just had to put that to the side because, funding.
But that could be a future opportunity, right?
Absolutely, mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now you get my brain going again.
So and then are you thinking storefronts and like what's the? So you mentioned e-commerce, right?
Yes.
It's a necessary evil,
right?
But is that end game? Like, or are you thinking if you're going to take SlimTall everywhere, right? Eventually, you may have to have stores and other things, right?
Yeah. See, times are changing, though, Doug. You got to understand, times changing. You got to see like the Macy's and the Dillards.
They're not doing well.
They're not doing well. So why would I go get a storefront
sure.
if they've been there? How long they been there? Longer than I've been alive.
Long time.
And they're not doing well. Mm-hmm. So what? You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to see the big picture. Like, okay, things are going to the internet. Okay, mm-hmm. So we got to do e-commerce, right? So we're doing advertisement because you got to think about if I do Instagram and Facebook, just those two advertisements.
You can reach millions of people.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's...
We didn't even talk Pinterest or other
ones. No, that's what I'm saying. So the tides are changing. Mm-hmm. Tides are changing. So I'm like, I don't need to be in the mall. I don't need to necessarily do that because I still have social media. I still have the e-commerce. And what I would like to do now, let's say if Nordstrom wants to put me in, Nordstrom, if you want to put me in, at Nordstrom, if you want to put SlimTall in there, by all means, you can do that. But I don't want to have my own storefront. I don't want that overhead. I don't want those problems, those issues. The only thing I would like to have is a huge warehouse for SlimTall. That's as far as like, but I just want to.
Even then, there's still models on demand warehousing, and,
right?
Right. So okay, so I want to transition and talk to you a little bit about, you and I are both from the Black community.
Correct.
But entrepreneurism is not as common.
Oh, no.
Now, did you have any fears or concerns? I know you went to the Small Business Development Center, but were your sister had been doing it, but you hadn't. Did you have any insecurities when you started, like that you were concerned of failure?
I say my biggest insecurity was credit, not understanding credit. Because when you're in business, you need credit. You know what I'm saying? You need business credit. You need your personal credit be good. And that's the thing I was like, I didn't know about. All I knew was about credit cards is bad. Don't get no credit cards. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, and then when I started learning and reading for myself, I'm like, I need that credit card.
So I can tell you that's something I talk a lot about on my show. On a unique advantage I had, my father was a financial planner. So I grew up knowing TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. Like I already knew the credit bureaus, how they calculate scores and stuff. But you are right. I mean, I think a great lesson learned for the listeners here is that, when you start your business, you can plan and assume success. But in many cases, there will be situations that come up that you're going to have to put money in yourself. And you probably will need your credit cards and everything that comes with it to keep that thing afloat long enough that it could stand on its own.
Exactly. Though you made a great point. But if I would have known that, hey, if I have my credit score at least 650, at least a 650, right, and have a good rapport with the banker, that they will loan me a certain amount. They will loan me a certain. They'll loan me, and I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because I only knew the old way. Hey, sir, can you loan me some money? You know what I'm saying? Like, them days over. You got to understand that credit, you need to build your credit. You need to build your credit. We need to be more responsible with our credit, understand where it can take us. Because you got to think about it, Doug. Most people that really have it, they don't be having no cash on them.
No.
They have the credit card.
Yeah. They're like, this is my wallet here.
Yeah.
That's it. To your point.
Exactly.
I have no cash.
See? So I was like, what?
There was a new way of thinking for you.
Exactly. And I was like, man, I want to get these nice cars and this and that. And then I was realizing they got all that mostly from the credit, because the credit was so good that they didn't have to put nothing down.
It takes time to build good credit.
It is true, but if we are more knowledgeable about it and not being scared about something that can potentially help us, it will definitely make a big difference.
Well, let me tell you something. What you're bringing up here, this is not just in the Black community. This is across the board. So I lecture at Cal State.
Oh wow! Okay.
In an executive MBA program, and even there, I had a class about, it was like Startup 101.
Okay.
So you want to start a business, right?
Right.
And started going through all these steps. Now, keep in mind, these are executives in businesses.
Right.
The personal finance part about setting up your business checking, that your business has its own credit life, right? It's tied to the tax ID. It's a total different entity, right?
Exactly.
I got the most engagement in those sections, because most of them would say, like, even if you're in finance, personal finance,
right?
No college teaches that. In fact, when you go to college, most cases, the credit card companies are just going to give you credit cards, and then that's when you get hooked on the stuff, right? It's like a drug. It's a gateway drug. So I think this is a good discussion point. So in terms of your greatest success, like, I'm sure you have a lot of pride that you've gone out and, created this unique thing to solve problems.
Right.
What is success like for you? What is the long-term goal for you? Like, is it, you said you have SlimTall everywhere, but for you personally, like, I don't take that you're the kind of guy you're in this to get rich.
No, not at all.
So for you in the end, like, is this going to lead into other careers, or is this like, will you do this the rest of your life? Is this a hobby? Like, how does that sit in your heart? Where do you think this will go?
Well, as far as the SlimTall, I mean, I'm in it for life, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's your business,
right?
Yeah.
I just don't want no kid to grow up like I did.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing. It's not. I'd rather take the blessings over the money. I'm not really care about the money. You know what I'm saying? Money will come. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it would just be able to solve that problem, right? As close as I can, and then maybe I'll get on some other entities like 3D printing or something like that. But and also work for myself. I don't like working for people.
Yeah. So this was your first experience working for yourself, right?
Yes.
There's no going back, right? You don't.
Oh man, it's once you have people working for you or working for your best interest when you're asleep, it's a different field.
I have the same experience.
It's a different
I worked
field.
for 20 years for other people.
Yeah.
And the last 3 years of my life, I've been fortunate to have built a company and have employees and grow. And I can tell you, there's no going back.
Exactly. You'll find a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that's hard too. It's going to be certain sacrifices you make along the way, like we talked about. But yeah, I think in the end game, it's worthwhile. Maybe a couple last ideas that I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
You mentioned some hard times in your life.
Yeah.
You know, a relationship change is hard for anybody.
Right.
Arena football, I could tell there's still some pride you have.
Yeah, of course.
That you could handle yourself out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Changing cities is a very stressful period for people. So going beyond like football and other things, like my understanding is also you're a fisherman.
Yes.
And did that give you some relief during these hard times? Were you fishing a little bit more than you were normally, or?
If I'm not fishing, I gotta be around water. I gotta be around water. It's just a smoothing, it just calms me down. So if I'm not fishing, I'm around water. I'm just sitting it, and it gets me to thinking, like, what can I do to change my outcome? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I understand this field, that field, but what can I do now to change tomorrow?
We share a lot in common, my friend. I think when I decided to leave my corporate career, one of the first things I did is I took a hike at Lake Del Valle. Wow. And I rented a boat and I went out on that water, and I caught a smallmouth bass with a friend of mine that was out with me. And I just said, I don't know why it took me so long to go back to things that like I did in my youth that I care so much about, but I didn't do because I was working for somebody else. I was traveling. It was all these distractions.
Right.
But in doing that, it really kind of took me back to my roots or my origins.
Right.
That I think it put me in the mental place to do something new. That was for me.
I like that.
I think in that sense, we have something in common. And maybe this is a good segue to my reflections on this discussion. I think to my listeners out there, what you can see from Rashad is he has found an unmet need that not just him, but his family, that crosses gender lines of not everybody's confidence, and not everybody can bring their 100% authentic self to the table if they can't feel good about what they're wearing. That is a societal problem. It is not trivial, and I think this is something that whether for men, for women, for our children, we need to solve. And I think I salute you, Rashad, for building a brand with this idea to bring confidence back to people that are slim and tall. So thank you for coming today on Twist of Fate. And to my listeners, if you like this content, I want you to share, like, subscribe. It helps us out with our channels. We're trying to make this free content to inspire you, to chase your dreams, and to make the world a better place. And like Rashad here, it's not just about the money, right? It's about doing something that's going to build our legacy as a people and as entrepreneurs. And with that, I look forward to talking to you on the next Twist of Fate.
Twist of Fate is hosted by Doug Younger. It's produced by John Lundvid and Matthew Brown at Ezo Creative. Moni Yu designs our graphics, and Enrique Pimentel manages our digital life. Our theme music is by Jamie Bathgate. Special thanks to all of our patrons. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/twistoffate podcast. Thanks for listening.